Hey, Knuckle Up fans, welcome to a special episode of Knuckle Up at 4 with Mike Gore. Sorry today we didn't have Graham with us today to introduce the show, but unfortunately he's not missed. Today in the studio we have Jalen Walker. We had him on a couple weeks back, and today accompanying him is his father Norman Walker, and we're gonna get him on the hot seat today and find out what it takes to become the trainer and what it takes to push your son to hit these elite levels in boxing today. Perfect. So let's get right into it. Norman, thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are always on the training, big time. What does it take? What does it take to like? What kind of sacrifices have you gone through to get to where he's at today?
Man, it's a lot of sacrifice. A lot of time. You got a lot of time and consistency throughout the years. He started when he was about 7. That's when we got real serious, and just 3-4 hours every day, man, for like a decade. Not necessarily 4 hours, but just a lot of time, a lot of driving, a lot of time spent in the gym, a lot of long days at work, and you get home and you got to go right to the gym. Just being time and sacrifice and being consistent.
Does it take a lot of resources to compile like such a heavy amateur record like Jalen did?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. I think I won't say I let him down in that regards that much, but we probably should have been in more tournaments. But because of financial reasons and having more kids and have to pay rent and all that stuff, it was hard, man. Those national tournaments, they be getting it costs. A lot of people do a lot of GoFundMe's and you know other people might have more support. We had support too, but it costs a lot of money, and you got to think like with me, him, and sometimes I had like another trainer. I always was like a co-trainer. You know what I mean, or had somebody else. So uh, that build the airplane, the hotels, all that stuff costs. And if you do that
Right,
a couple days
right.
a year, a couple trips out a year, it's a lot of money.
I understand that. It definitely must be a lot of money to take those trips and fly all the time.
Yeah.
With that, so who are some of the most influential people that have helped you in these times?
Um, Man, my mom, she helped a lot. My uncles, he even had a trainer named Joe Sanders. Man, he was a real blessing. When we had our time with him, man. Just different people throughout the years.
Excellent. Um, so if you had any extra money for the budget, where would you have spent it and why?
Oh, we would have hit tournaments.
Just tournaments, eh?
Yeah, every single tournament. Every tournament. Like right now, I have an 8-year-old, and I'm about to get him started, and I'm planning on to hit almost every tournament. There's a part of me due to politics that make me kind of question it, but
Right.
honesty, um, yeah, we would have hit all the tournaments. The ringside, the world ringside, what's it called?
Ringside.
The ringsides. I don't think they had that tournament no more. We never went there. I think it was due to the timing of it. Like it had, I guess it was another tournament when we went there. Then a few weeks later, it was that tournament. When he was younger, it used to be seemed like it was more tournaments. We had the Desert Showdown, the ringsides. I think the title got one. Those are the invitationals, not necessarily the Junior Olympic Nationals or the Silver Glove Nationals. Those are more the qualified tournaments back
Right.
then. But we would have hit all the invitational national tournaments. He went to the National Junior Golden Gloves a couple times. We would have went there more. Um, what else?
Everything. We
Everything.
we mostly just went to like the major nationals, like the stuff that we had to qualify for, like the Junior Olympic
Right.
Nationals, USA.
Right.
But stuff like the titles, Desert Showdown, the junior golden gloves and other tournaments and shows like outer state, we really couldn't do that because it was pricey. And if we did that in the tournaments that I did go, I usually had to like share a room with somebody or share a bed with them.
Right, right. So lots of money.
It's the one of the families
Yeah,
and
you'll
stuff
send
too.
me with other coaches or other teams.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of like us Canadians and going on hockey tournaments and stuff like that. A lot of bunking, a lot of car rides, a lot of hours spent in the car and everything like that. But you guys are doing it with boxing too. But it can be a little more expensive because you guys got to fly across the world, right? So and around the world. So that would be some advice that you would give to other parents is put them in tournaments. Is that's the advice you're trying to say? Is just
Yeah.
get as many tournaments as you can?
Yeah. Experience tournaments, even the regular local shows. Try to hit all of them because you're not going to get matched all the time you go. So you have to go to all the tournaments. Boxing is a year-round sport, and
Right.
it's parent to look at the child and judge the child to see when he needs a break or something, because they do going to need a break here and there. We're going to need a break sometimes. And when I'm talking about a break, I'm not talking about 2-3 months off. I'm just talking about, a weekend, a couple of weekends or two.
Right.
But you
Right.
have all the tournaments, local shows even out here in Southern California. We used to have shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And man, we'll try to hit all of them, especially when he was younger, from like 8 to about what, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we try to hit every single one of them. And sometimes you get it a fight, sometimes you don't, because when he was younger, from about 60 pounds to about 80 pounds, man, that division was stacked. So sometimes we fight the same kid 3 times, sometimes we fight different kids, but everybody's kind of competing to be on that card. So sometimes
Right.
you'll drive, like we went to Orange County. We from LA and we couldn't get a fight. I didn't go as far as Riverside too much. That's about like an hour or so away. I didn't go that far too much. We went a few times and we got fights out there, but I just try to just try to go to as much as I can, about an hour away or so. I didn't try to go no 2-3 hours away. We went to
Right.
Bakersfield once and he got robbed, and that was the last time I went out there. And that
Yeah.
was horrible.
Why spend that money? Yeah. Why spend that money to go there and get robbed? Right.
Yeah, that was a whole different local too. So people like, man, you can't go to their house and think you go to get a fair decision. So it's just experience. You know what I mean?
So you did mention politics. What were some of the adversities that you had to face and overcome with the politics in the amateur scene, and how are you going to navigate them with your son that you're just getting into boxing today?
The district that we come from, they favor certain styles. They favor the brawling style. So
Okay.
I grew older, I had to adopt more of a brawling style, more of like a Mexican style. Because you could win the whole round, you could be outboxing the guy. It's only a minute, but they'll just give it to the guy that's coming forward. So there's like
Hmm.
all the fights that I lost as a kid were all split decisions, and all the fights I won were all unanimous decisions. So it's kind of like you can see the corruption right there. It's
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's really like a favorite certain style. Then they favor certain kids. Like the referees and the judges, they have kids that also box. So every
Right.
fight, they're gonna get that decision. Like,
Most
Right.
of the time, yeah, you had to really like beat them.
nah, here they gonna get the decision.
Yeah, well, I was talking more so the national level. I'm just saying, like, I never felt that. There's a couple decisions that we didn't get, but I'm not gonna cry robbery. I'm just saying, it's hard to get all this money, fly out somewhere, and lose the first and second night. And it's just that's kind of taxing mentally a little bit too. And
Right.
even the judging out in the national tournaments, you're gonna get a West Coast judge that kind of favor more of a come forward banging style. The East Coasters kind of favor the slick boxing style. You just gotta know what you against. You know what I mean? No hard feelings or nothing like that. It is what it is.
Right. Right. Um, any specific any big surprises that you faced in the last say couple of months?
But I can say is all the fighters that was supposed to be good when I was 16, 17, they
Yeah.
ain't nothing now. All the guys that thought they was better and was on a national level or better than me, they ain't doing nothing now. It's
No.
the amateur program gives these guys like a false sense of security. They think
Okay.
they these world beaters because they could beat a certain guy just for a minute, fighting three rounds 1 minute. But when you go to the pro games, it's completely different. You know, it's like an undisciplined guy could beat a
Right.
different.
Right. So now do you think that's the biggest surprise a lot of guys faces or face? It's is the fact that it's different, way different, right?
Yeah.
And that the support isn't there for them at the end of it, so they get that false sense of security.
Yeah,
Right?
different ball game. Pros, you gotta really train,
The sucky
man.
guys could beat you if they discipline.
Yeah. It's you gotta really train. I'm talking about you gotta whatever you did in the amateurs when you turn to the pros, you gotta like times that by you gotta go up a couple levels.
Plus, you're a man. You know,
Yeah, your mentality.
you're not a child no more. You're not 15, 14, or 13. You know, like certain things don't scare you.
So more like you're thinking more like it's a job at this point.
Yeah, it's different.
It's a job.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a business. It's a job. It's not a sport no more when you're a pro. I don't look at it as that.
No.
And I don't want to be like some professional fighters who are like, oh, this is business. You know, talking about ducking nobody, but you got to take it as a professional and like a firefighter take his job real serious.
Right.
Yeah, you got to take it real serious. You know, you got to take your training real serious. You got to take your conditioning. You got to surround yourself around the right people, get the right team, have the right coaches, managers, with condition, all that type of stuff. And you can't like Jalen last performance. It even taught me a little bit. You can't take the little every detail. You gotta like watch. You know, you can't like shorten the practice for 5 minutes because you got to go here or anything like that. Even like with interviews, sometimes you got to just like we got to handle this business,
Right.
and family functions, all that type of stuff. You got to really go to the gym first. You got to put gym first. You got to put
Number
body.
one.
It's like a marriage, you got to put it first, and everything else got to come second.
Okay.
Third.
With so what how do you stay on top of evolving and what kind of things do you do to push him to be the best right now?
Sparring the best.
Yeah, well, I me, I study boxing, man. I watch a lot of film. I read a lot about training, from conditioning, all that type of stuff, and just having them around the best. Right now, we go to a couple of different gyms, but for sparring, we go to Wild Card with Freddie Roach, and
Right.
we try to get, if we ain't getting the champions, we getting the top contenders.
We sparring.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like
not trying to spar.
32-3. We're sparring.
Yeah,
Even guys
how you
big.
pronounce his name? Mark Magallos.
Mark Magallos,
Magallos.
and the other Filipino, Mercedes. Like we talking about like
The
guys.
guy that just fought Jojo Diaz.
Yep.
The draw, Shofkoff, if I'm
yeah.
pronouncing his name right.
We was in there like 3 months with him.
Then we went down to Indio and fought. We sparred the champion, the WBA, and I think he's
a unified
122 at junior featherweight. Nickname's MJ. I forgot his. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But
I have the same trouble sometimes with pronouncing some of these guys' names.
But I just try to say, I just try to have my son spar really hard competition because you got to get ready for that. You got to harden yourself mentally and physically for tough competition.
Right. So you're saying that a big part of it too is sparring competition. Like you have to travel really to get sparring, and it's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Round. The reason why I was able to do that last round and compete how I was competing was the sparring that I had. If you look at the peers in my age group, all the ones getting knocked out because they ain't sparring to people I was sparring. They don't know if they could take a shot because they never been hit with a shot. They don't know what to do if they get hurt. They don't know they don't know where your mind is. They don't have that experience. and me sparring all these world champions since I was 17. And these guys been trying to kick my ass for like the longest. You know, they don't want
Right.
little kid to just whoop on them. So
Okay.
it really transformed my mind to like a higher place.
So more just it's so you take it more serious now because your father taught you early about it being so you've taught him both the business side and the sports side of it. And that's where it kind of gets your mental game up so that you're able to do these other things that these guys aren't doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did it take to put your team together, man? Because you guys got a brilliant team that I've seen. You met your managers young. How did that go about? How did this whole family come about?
It was just by my coach. But right now we're having like add-ons to our team because we don't want to do the same thing and have the same result of our last fight. Of a conditioning coach that we work with, like at 7 in the morning, 3 days out the week. He's his name is Cabacho. He works with Triple G, and he's just like working on a lot of things, like uh, increasing my explosiveness and increasing power, and conditioning, and overall making me a better athlete. So we're just always adding and reconstructing our group to make it stronger.
Okay. What's one thing you wish you would have known at the beginning of this journey you guys started taking together?
Um,
I'm sorry to put you in such a hot seat, man, but you know I try to get the best out of my guests, right?
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Think about that one.
Okay. So this journey that you've been on now with your son, you're about to take it again with another. Starting off, you said you were going to get him in 8-year-old.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I think what I went wrong was like I used to box amateur, right? And I'm not trying to say I'm like a super like great coach or anything.
Right.
But, like for my next son, I'm not going to let nobody train him. I'm just going to be 100% on my little son. Even I have a daughter that's 11, and she go, she boxes a little bit here and there, and I'm just going to be their coach. I'm not going to let nobody else because that's I had good and bad experience with coaches. They do things like you'll second guess yourself as a father, as a coach, and you get somebody else to do it. Then you was like, on the outside looking in, you think it would have been better than what it was. So I think I'm just going like 100% just train my younger kids. For my son, um, I think I probably should have waited on getting them certain coaches throughout the years. It probably should have got on strength and conditioner earlier on, and not too much. There's not too much that I question though.
What have been the biggest resources that have helped you so far?
Biggest reason.
Like you said, you started a couple of GoFundMe's and stuff like that. Like, what are some of the biggest resources that you've had
This
that
this
that
fa-
you
this family that help us go the trips. You know what I mean? We personally never did a GoFundMe. I don't think. I think we did one time, but we shut it off. We got like $5. Yeah, but yeah, we never really did no GoFundMe or no actual donations or
We
nothing too
really,
much.
we
We
really
just
made it on our own, man.
yeah, we just
Big time.
family.
kept the family earned and kept all the
Yeah,
politics out of it, right?
yeah.
Um, I want to ask you this one. What do you think about this whole Logan Jake Paul shit that's going on in the boxing world today? And what are your thoughts on that? Really,
It's just that's it.
money, right? Money grab.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's a money grab. Do you think, Norman? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm neutral. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I mean, at the end of the day, in the history books, they're not gonna be Hall of Famers or nothing like that. It's just
No,
a fly by night type of just a fly by night.
it's a circus. You can say it. I said it. It's a circus.
15 minutes of fame. I know a lot of boxers is bad because like cats like my son and other people, man, they've been doing this for years.
Right. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You guys
Yeah,
like.
So
the struggles that you've been through, and that these guys just come in here and like make it a shit
they have
show.
to get the fraction of the money that they get. But I think it also should show that boxers should open their eyes and become like, Instagram and YouTube and, be more social media like active. You'll get your fan base up a little bit. And it can
Right.
also sponsors and, merchandise and clothing company. People want you to wear their clothes and they'll pay you and stuff like that. So, I just think that, boxers need to open up their eyes a little more. You know what I mean?
It should become, so you're saying they should more like individually promote themselves more, waiting
Yeah,
instead of waiting for somebody to do it.
yeah,
Because I know Jalen has a huge social media following. He's posting all the time, mad videos, always reels. Do you think that's a big part to like the success that he's having so far?
Yeah,
yeah. I think the media, man.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, he got on two platforms already. From his coaches, but it helped him out to get to get noticed, to get seen. And there's other boxers out there that uh fought on that national level that was good, that was really good, that you and other people don't even know about because they have no social media like following at all. I just think this a different era now. This ain't the 90s. Like when I used to box, like in the early 90s, I mean the mid 90s, I was like a teenager. We had to wait every month for the Ring magazine, the KO magazine to hit
Right.
and read it. And that's how you knew about boxers. We couldn't go on the computer and watch YouTube or anything like that. Like there's certain people you really didn't watch fight, you just read about them. Like I knew who
Right.
Wayne Wright was for years, but it took years for me to watch him on HBO. You know?
I know exactly what you're saying, man. When I was a kid watching those fights growing up, man, you had first choice pay per view is what we had, and yet it was once a month, once every couple of months. But yes, you would have to read about it. I knew who boxers were before I ever watched them on television.
Yeah,
It
same
was
here.
it was
Like,
crazy.
look at back then, like some fighters never even made it to pay-per-view. And if
Right.
you didn't have cable, you didn't have HBO or Showtime or ESPN Friday nights. Out here in LA, we had KCAL 9, they had boxing on there. Sometimes they had it on Channel 4, like NBC or something like that. Then if you had basic cable, you had USA Boxing, little stuff like that. And I think that was Tuesday night fights. But yeah, boxing has came a long way if you ask me because of social media.
I believe the same thing, and I believe that's the only reason why these the things that are going on right now with like Jake Paul and Logan Paul and all that is true social media, man. Those guys are social media giants.
Yeah, I don't
So
look at them as boxers. I mean, I
no,
love them though. It's just like celebrity boxing. They always had,
right, yeah,
but now they found a way to make big money off of it due to social media. Like Channel 11 back in the days, Fox, they had um I forget maybe celebrity. I forgot the name of it, but they had like the C-level celebrities getting them ring and duke it out and beat each other up.
yeah. I think I remember that. I remember that.
This is just a different level of that. That's how I look at it. They going to cherry pick. What's his name? Jack Paul, the younger brother. Yeah, they go to cherry pick him. Fights until he's done fighting. He's not gonna step up and fight no real boxer like ever. You know what I mean?
Right. That being said, with those guys, you have to get licensed to become a professional boxer, correct?
Yeah.
Do you believe that these guys bought their licenses, or are they fake, or do they get them? What do you think's going on there? Because I know a lot of people are calling their licenses up front right now and saying, no, they're fake, they're not real.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it ain't hard to get no boxing license. Like,
Okay.
The fights in Mexico, and even fights out here back in the days, these guys, you just have to pass a physical, all your physical, and probably shadow box or something like that. I don't know, but it ain't that hard to get your license. And if you just in shape and pass all the tests, they'll give you your license. So I will add this, that a lot of prospects and a lot of fighters in general has fought sorry fighters like Jake Paul, and to build up their record. So I mean, there ain't no difference. It's just at the end of the day, he ain't a real boxer. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. I heard you say Mexico there. I noticed that Jalen's first all-pro fights they were down in Mexico. Could you run us through that experience?
Oh man, it was cool. Um, it was cool. We didn't have no bad experience. It was just getting his feet wet and getting him experience. Uh, I wouldn't want to go back down there for nothing right now at all. I just want to keep going forward. I think people have a misconception and think that all the fights in Mexico are easy. I mean, his wasn't hard, but there's some prospects that go out there and get knocked out.
Yeah,
Two prospects that went out there and got knocked out recently. His first fight, his pro debut on his card, there were some guys out here that got knocked out. About 3, 4 dudes from California went out there and got beat. So people thinking that like all these people are like sorry and it's an easy win. You don't know what you're getting out there. You can't never find your opponent on YouTube too much. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And there's a guy recently, I ain't gonna say his name. He was a nice prospect. He went out there and got knocked out by a dude who had a losing record. You know what I mean? So
right.
got to be very careful. And I honestly think uh, if it wasn't for COVID or anything like that, um, it's better to get fights out here anyways because you can kind of study your opponent, know who he is a little bit. Out there you have no idea who's gonna go in that ring.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that a lot of boxers do go down there to put a jump start on their boxing career, so they say. But would you recommend other people doing that? Is it something that you'll do in the future?
I won't do it in the future again, but um, yeah. I mean, if you want to go out there, I mean, it depends. You know what I mean? I think if you don't have a promoter or anything like that, you go. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt to go out there and get any experience. But if you have a promoter, and a good team, then just stay out here and get a fight.
Right.
Because Jalen's first fight out here when he fought in Miami, on that matchroom card, it was. I mean, he won every round, but when he got out the ring, he was like, "Damn, man, this was like my first real fight." You had a live dog in there he's not trying to like look bad or get beat. I mean,
Right.
it's just different levels. That's it.
Right. What's in the future cards for Team Walker right now? What do you guys have planned for the next like 6 months?
The rematch with his last opponent,
Yep.
it should come soon, maybe August or something like that, or July, end of July, August. And we're just in camp right now for that fight. We just preparing, man. We're gonna leave no stone unturned for that fight. I think he made it harder than what it was. There ain't no excuses or anything. It was just a close fight. You know what I mean? So we just have to, do what we need to do to get the W.
That's it. That's it.
That just keep like I said, like just keep going forward, keep training really hard, learn from our mistakes and just build a solid team.
Right.
We don't want to go too fast, we don't want to go too slow. We just want to create the perfect storm.
And you know what? You guys are definitely doing that, man. Headlines, news, you guys are everywhere. They're talking about the, Team Walker and the, the groundbreaking moves that you guys have made so far, man. It's
Yeah.
killing it. Honestly, guys, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know that you guys have a busy life. Busy, it's very, very structured. So we'll just leave off with thank you very much, guys, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on. Definitely, we'll keep in touch. You guys have the schedule. You have the day for the next fight coming up already.
No, no, no. We don't. But when we do, you'll be one of the first ones to know.
Definitely, thank
Yeah,
you, man. Thank you for the. I'm
yeah,
gonna let all my fight fans know. Definitely, I'll keep in touch. Norman, thank you very much again.
not
Jalen, thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Knuckle Up fans around the world watching. thanks again for tuning in. Jalen and his father stop by, join us in the studio here, man. And guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back. Knuckle up.
Peace.
Yeah, man.